name is Ashley, and if you're watching this video, you're probably thinking about applying to an art school or looking into art colleges or something like that. So I was once there in your shoes, scrolling through YouTube and like watching all the videos I could, all the portfolios that people were showing and like all the advice videos that were out there. So I also wanted to add my 2 cents because I think that's cool, because I once was, searching and an applying student. So now that I'm accepted to some schools, I wanted to share some of my knowledge with you guys. So this is my portfolio that was accepted into FIT for illustration and SVA for animation. I only applied to 2 art schools, which I know is kind of weird, but I knew exactly what I wanted, what I could afford, and where I could be. I was very limiting to myself when it came to where I applied, which is a good thing and also a bad thing. But yeah, here are a few of my pieces. I don't want to go through everything, but I just want to show a few things here and there that show like some basics you should have in a portfolio. And another thing is I also started drawing only my sophomore year of high school, so this is definitely not the best quality art that you've probably seen in videos like this. I've definitely had to do a few programs, and I started drawing every day just more recently, so take everything with a grain of salt. Also, I think my grades had something to do with me getting into these schools. I don't want to give exact numbers or anything. I would say that my grades were above the average students that usually apply to these type of schools, but I wouldn't say they were super high or anything. Also, my grades helped me get some scholarships, so I'll probably do a different type of video for grades and more college close related stuff. But yeah, grades are still important even if you're going to art school, especially if you're looking into scholarships. I'll be looking down a lot because that's where my computer is and that's how I'm accessing my portfolio. The things that I've sent to both schools were pretty similar because the guidelines were also pretty similar. So the first piece that I submitted overlaps with both portfolios that I submitted. It's on newsprint and I used ink and water, and I really like the emotion it creates. It's kind of like a self-portrait because I used myself as a reference, but it's basically like trying to get the emotion of struggle in the photo, which is like, it's kind of like a very relatable scene. Next piece that I'm showing you is a still life, so that's fulfilling more of the traditional requirements. I just set it up on my bed and I used a lot of reflective items to show lighting. There are definitely a few objects that are stronger than others, but I like the composition of it. Showing something that's reflective is a bit more interesting to the eye, I guess. It's also using charcoal, so I think showing different types of mediums that you can use in your portfolio is really helpful. Okay, the next piece I'm showing is a self-portrait that I did in gouache, and this is using color. I like the use of color scheme here. Once again, having a variety of things is very important, and this is using a photo reference. And yep. This next piece was also a part of my AP art portfolio. I used watercolor and ink, and I used a previous sketch that I had as reference of a woman's back, and I kind of made it bigger and I put more detail into it, and I like the use of cross-hatching and color here. I also included some figure drawings that I did. These are 5-minute poses. I find myself feeling better about the shorter poses that I do. They're a lot more expressive compared to the longer ones. So it shows drawing from life, and especially for animation and illustration, they want to see that you have some type of figure drawing experience, or even if you didn't, you just need to show some basic knowledge of the human body. I then included some sketchbook pages. Instead of like taking each page and submitting it by itself, definitely collage it and show some good composition when you do collage it. Make sure everything's pretty cohesive. So I included like some figures, some hand drawings, some use of collage, different mediums, and drawings of a chair from life. So it shows like variety in my sketchbook, and it also shows like my thought process and like just how I sketch and do my work. I also included digital paintings just to even show more variety, and this is also straying away from the traditional more fine art sections of a portfolio into more of imagination. So For this, I took inspiration from the episode The Answer from Steven Universe, and I took the colors from one of the scenes and I did a redraw of it. This is using Paint Tool Sai, and yeah, I'm pretty proud of this. This one took a long time, and I really like digital painting, so this is probably one of the more stronger pieces of my portfolio. For the SVA animation portfolio, I included a character design that I did. So this was a previous iteration of one of my original characters. Over time, they've changed, but this was them as I was applying to college. I have a full body pose and an expression sheet, and then a smaller pose, fully colored. This is kind of embarrassing, but I mean, it was what I had at the time. This is another still life of a kettle surrounded by some fabric. I just wanted to show a lot more pieces. I just wanted to have an equal balance between drawing from what I see right in front of me and from my own imagination. So this is why I included this piece. I mean, it's not like the best. I think it shows like a good still life foundation is slightly sort of there. This is another piece I'm kind of iffy about. It's like my paintings and stuff like that. I'm just like, I'm not the best, but I just want to show I can do it. This was more from imagination, as you could probably tell. It started off as a self-portrait and then it veered off into something else. This is actually the first oil painting I've ever done, and I do not suggest submitting your first time using a medium ever to a college, but I just wanted to have like more paintings in there because my portfolio started looking like very black and white to me, so I threw this in there to add some color. And it's not bad. Like, I like the composition where she's not in the center, she's slightly off to the side. I think some of the shading on the bamboo has been done pretty well. But yeah, it's in there. Those are some of the pieces I submitted into colleges, so now I just wanted to tell you some tips and tricks that I learned along the way. Number one, make sure you're reading those college portfolio guidelines. A lot of people are saying, I don't know what they want from me. I don't know what do I even make? What do I submit? Those guidelines are right there for you. I know it's hard and some of them can be really broad, but just having the guidelines there and making sure you're listening to them just shows a lot of competence right there. If they say don't submit any fan art, don't submit any fan art. Wow. If they say they want half of more traditional drawings from life, make sure you have that good balance between traditional and more imaginative drawing. And I know it kind of, at first it seemed annoying to me. So I was like, oh, if I want to do illustration and animation, isn't it all just from my like creativity and stuff like that? No, past Ashley. It is very important to have a very good traditional art foundation, and you should have the ability to draw from life. Draw from life every day, please. Another tip that I have is just create a lot of pieces. Like, just kick one out in a day. Work on stuff now and then. Like, if you have an assignment at school, work on an assignment at home. Just have a lot of options. I found myself pulling at strings, getting in pieces last minute, and you know, seeing that I had more creative stuff than more traditional stuff, and then having more traditional than creative. And it was really hard to find that balance. I wish I had more options to submit. If you have opportunities to do art programs outside of your school, take them. Do it. Especially if they're free. I know they can be hard to find. I know like even they have an annoying application process, but the help that you can receive is so informative and nice, especially if your school doesn't have a good art program or your art program at your school is giving you the same opinion over and over again. It's very nice to be in a community that is more focused on art and more constructive. A program that I did was at a college, and they specifically worked on senior portfolios, and it kind of kicked my ass, to be real with you. Like, they looked at my stuff and they're like, what is this? Get it together. And it was very helpful and important. Like, a lot of my traditional pieces came from that program and, you know, doing the homework, and it was very helpful with their critiques. You don't want to hear bad things about your art, but it's so important, and that's the only way you're going to improve. So be open to critiques, find differing opinions, go to portfolio days, that was helpful. Lastly, and I think in some ways can be a make or break for you, is taking good photos of your art. For me, I did a mix between just using my iPhone and using a high definition camera at my school. If you're finding that the quality of your art doesn't shine through because of one camera or the lighting, you have to give and take. You have to take some photos inside, outside, artificial lighting, real life lighting to get the best photo out of it. Take the time to crop your photo, adjust the brightness, make sure all of the levels are pretty even, because your work is something you worked hard on and you want to present it the best way possible. So yes, please crop your work, please take the best photo you can and present it the best way possible, because you worked hard on it, might as well give it its best shot. So I think that's all I have today. So if you guys want a video of more specific college application stuff, maybe put some questions down below. I didn't only apply to art school. I'm pretty open to helping people with this process, because I remember I used to search up videos all the time about applying to college, and I was pretty nervous about everything, and finding YouTube videos like this was really helpful for me. So yeah, I hope this video was helpful in any way. I hope it was encouraging and not discouraging. And once again, I know I'm not the best artist. I know that, I have a lot of things to improve. So yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Who knows when that'll be. Bye!